All right. Well, moving forward, I'm incredibly curious. What was it like growing up where you were the majority, where people look like you, and I mean, you're treated a particular way in America, and you've come to realize that in your time here. But I mean, what was it like? I don't have any experience with that.
Oh.
I wasn't.
Okay, I have to take you to Africa to have some taste to it. I know, but
I was not a pity comment. I was.
That's okay, but I feel you. Yeah. Is that makes sense?
Yeah. No, it is sad. It's kind of
no, like when you said it, kind of a reality hit.
But also, I'm just curious. I have no concept.
Because I haven't been a majority in the last 6 years. That's why I was like, oh, yeah. But So, to answer your question, which is an incredible question. At first, tribe-wise, I was not a majority. I was a minority. So there's a mindset in my head that I'm a minority, but with tribal stuff. But it was not. It did not occur to me that I would be a minority also to be black as well. So it was something new when I arrived here in America, and I didn't understand it at first because I didn't know the signs of racism. There will be some actions that will happen in my eyes, and I will see them as though that person has issues. So I didn't, in my head, it wouldn't click that, hey, that person actually is a racist.
Right. That's
just a thing. It's a norm in this society that it's not perceived wrong in their head, Right. So for me, I would be like, oh, that person said this, did this, that's wrong. Why would a human do that? But it wouldn't occur to me they did it because I am black. Right. Yeah, I would just feel like they did some wrong.
And that they could easily just do it to somebody else.
Probably. They probably did it to so many, and other people, probably somebody who grew up here would hear it as like, don't do that. Like they would respond to it differently. Yeah. But it was growing up in Rwanda. I would say in Africa, in a majority of countries in Africa, you are not. There are things you have to be aware here. Like there are cities you have to be aware. If you're traveling, if you're doing a road trip, you have to be aware of the stop you will make. Mm-hmm. Like if I stop here and I'm black, something might happen.
Right, you may put yourself
in danger.
At risk, right?
Yeah, or you're walking and because you're black, that's gonna happen. So they don't even have to ask you your name. They don't have to ask you where you come from, what state, what city, your family. Your skin tone says it all.
Mm-hmm. You're immediately suspicious.
Yeah. So it's different I was saying in Rwanda, it's tribal, but also you won't go to school or driving in the countryside thinking, oh, I'm black, I can't stop on that coffee shop because I may be looked at. Yeah. Like it doesn't really occur to you. It's like a completely different.
Right.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I answered the question right.
Yeah, you're saying that there are certain. Yeah, no, I think it's understandable. Certain things that you have to be aware of and you have to be cognizant of. Yeah. Every single time you put yourself in a particular situation, whereas in countries in Africa, you have other things to be aware of.
There's other things. Humans are humans.
Humans are humans, absolutely. But there are certain things based on your skin tone. Yeah. That you don't even think about.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like or especially like here when you say, oh, you're lighter skin, dark skin, that's like not a thing. Yeah. It's a shock to me when I started hearing that. So like, for example, when you said this person's not, like in our Black Enough previous videos, that was a shock to me. When someone, if you're lighter skin a little bit, or you have longer hair or something like that, you're perceived to be less black.
Yep.
Or from your own group of people, but also from the Caucasian. Also, you may get more opportunities than the darker skinned people, black people.
Yes. Yeah.
For in Rwanda, that's not a thing. Yeah, your parents will have 4 children. 2 of them are light skin, and the other 2 are dark skin. Both parents have, all the ancestors are black.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, there's no such a thing that you are black enough or not.
Must be nice.
I will take you there one day.
That'd be nice.
But I think the society shapes all those ideas, and I think it's important for us as people to look around and even question where did those ideas come from? Are they even important? Are they really what's the purpose of those ideas?
Right.
And just start treating our neighbors differently than what our society is telling us, especially if we know that if we are treated that way, it won't make us happy, Yeah. So why do it to another person?
Good question.
Yeah, all these things are just like people create those ideas, but
yeah. And actually, we spoke about this off camera, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
But the idea, like all these things, these constructs that humans have created, we treat them as if they are written in stone.
They are not.
And they're unchangeable, that they are as things should be for the end of time.
Yeah, they're
it's crazy to think. I mean, obviously the people who are enforcing those rules want to enforce them, especially when they benefit themselves.
Yeah, if they benefit from those ideas.
Right, but it's like, I don't know, it's either we're brainwashed or we just don't think about it enough. And I know I'm being vague here with the constructs, but and you can look at anything that disenfranchises a certain group of people or is directly benefiting one person as opposed to another.
Yeah.
It's wild that we collectively don't realize that we can change these things. We absolutely.
Oh yeah, nothing like you just said, nothing is written in stone, and especially if you're in the power and you realize, or not even in power, like even within your family, you'll just realize, okay, if something is wrong, how can I correct it?
Right.
Do I need permission?
Yes.
Do I need permission from anyone to do the right thing? You don't.
No.
You don't need permission to raise your kids to grow up to be better human beings.
No.
You just have to practice it at home. Yeah. So and then the behaviors from those kids are going to be what the society is going to look like.
Right.
So it's pretty. Right. It's just
No, I mean,
it sounds simple, but
no, it's complicated.
But it's complicated.
But
it is.
I think so much is. I mean, having that conversation. I feel like that's a theme with us. Is having the conversation. At least, like the first step is just being willing to have that conversation.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's true. Consistent. It's consistent with many things in life. It's just having the conversation. To start, and then you can work on what do we want to change, what needs to get better, and so on and so forth. As you just say that, last night, I don't know why I was thinking about that too much. I was thinking about religion, and if you faith in God, if you're in a religion and then you are told that the person who is not in that religion is less than you, or then don't deserve to live, to be alive because they're sinners or whatever, ask yourself this question. I was literally in my head, I was just asking myself, if I believe God is love, will God do this? If I believe God is kind, will God do this to to those other people? No. Why then act on those crucial things towards another human when you know that the God you believe in
is kind and loving.
Yes.
So I don't know why I was thinking about that, but
that's a good point.
It just came in my head, and because you know, sometimes you just question, you know, a lot of things, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Rambling.
No, that's good. I like that point. You're now involved in public speaking and writing. What compelled you to get involved with that, and also, what are some of the major, I mean, just talking about everything that you have up to this point, what are some of the major lessons that you've learned and carry with you through life?
Well, public speaking, I didn't know that I was going to end up becoming a public speaker, but when I arrived here back in 2014, I was approached by a lot of friends, and they were asking me questions how I grew up, and I didn't realize it was that important or it was a story to tell or anything.
Yeah.
But I realized every time I shared something, someone will, in the next week or something, they will come back to me. I was like, hey, remember the thing you shared with me? It made me make these decisions.
Yeah.
And thank you. You know, it was wonderful for me to learn this. So it kind of happened organically, and I end up, you know, doing public speaking and speaking all over the country. But I also writing for me was my way of sharing. I was an introvert growing up, and I had little trust in people. So the only thing I could trust is, and also I was a church girl too. So the only thing I did was write my pain, my sorrow, write it down, cry on that piece of paper, or sing it. At church. I would like be at church crying about my miserable life back home, and there will probably some people at church that would think it's a spiritual stuff, you know. I'm like closer to God, but it was just the pain I was going through.
It was an expression.
So I think it came in handy when I was, you know, working on myself to be better, and then I ended up writing my first book, but that was because I didn't want to keep doing public speaking. I was getting tired of public speaking and a lot of personal questions, and it was like, oh my God, I don't want to share this. Let me just write it down, because it's hard for me. I'm so being on the stage. But then...
And it's controlled as well.
So I write,
writing is a control.
Because somebody can just read it, and I'm not there to feel the emotions as well. Because I feed off people's emotions. If I'm speaking and someone in the audience starts crying, I'm going to do the same, and I'm on the stage.
I get it.
So that's how pretty much I love storytelling. I love to listen to other people's stories. So anything about storytelling, and I think that's what we have in common is
passion for storytelling.
For storytelling and listening and feeling other people's pain, and, you know, like starting conversations. And that's, you know, it's been a pleasure for me to be able to do this with you, Alex.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I know I asked a couple of tougher questions, and maybe we'll come back and make this a series and ask you maybe a little tougher questions than we did today. But thank you for sharing.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.